Thanks. Thank you all for joining. Apologize for me reading this, but I'm a crier now. Now I have a daughter. I'm a crier, so I have to be focused. Thank you all for joining Eric and Amy on this wonderful occasion. I am honored to be among the first to officially graduate them and congratulate them on their wedding. A graduation into adulthood. There you go. I would also like to thank the Burchell family for a wonderful night. I, for one, am a big fan of celebrating life's important moments, and the marriage of Eric and Amy is definitely worthy of a grand celebration. So thank you very much. The Burchell and Boger families raised two wonderful people. Strong family support is something that runs deep in the Boger blood, and speaking as a Boger, I'm happy to have these two families join as one. As a way of introduction, my name is Matt, and I've had the privilege of knowing Eric his entire life. As Eric's cousin, we grew up together, sharing experiences, comparing notes, as we travel through our youth, teen years, college, and adulthood, a very flexible term as it applies to both Eric and I. I could spend hours waxing poetic about the adventures with Eric, but I've been forced to choose just a few. One cannot discuss the young Boger years without mentioning Deltaville. This is a summer house located on the shores of Chesapeake Bay, where my dad Bill and Eric's dad Bob spent their summers as young ones. Our generation was fortunate enough to spend the majority of our summers there as well. Let me paint you a picture of 6 children under the age of 6, a small house, 3 bunk beds, and a volatile sea just 10 feet away from the front door. There were many occasions where we spent the evening watching raging ocean storms, including a tornado whoosh by. During such events, our dads were often found joking with the neighbors, while our mothers huddled us under doorways just in case the tornado decided to land on our abode. And now I'm the crier. See, it passes on. I didn't cry then. Now I would cry. During these summer vacations, Eric was the consummate adventurer, exploring coves in our motorboat, jumping off docks, teaching us how to hide during our evening Spooky the Owl, and telling stories of his adventures back home. I have to say, Eric has always been ahead of his time in culture and fashion. All three Boger boys, my brother Andrew, John, and myself, learned about jams and California surfwear from Eric. And I cannot go without mentioning his fine-tuned ear for music. We talked about this earlier. I can only hope that tonight, on the dance floor, the song, "No Parking on the Dance Floor," by some very obscure band that Eric was very in. I said, oh goodness. If that happens, clear room and let Eric do his thing. There are countless attributes to admire about Eric. His intellect, his knowledge of culture, his thoughts on security in our nation, both the nation and the world, his eye for cinema. I often check with Eric recommending on movie recommendations, much like Andrew, although I still debate him on the virtues of the movie Krull, which if you haven't seen yet is great. One more page, sorry about that. Of Krull, there you go. But the attribute I'm going to comment on is a God-given one, and that is his hair. Eric has fabulous hair, short or long, washed or greasy. It looks great. It looks great. Plus, he can grow a beard just thinking about it, literally overnight. If he puts his mind to it, full beard. A skill I still admire. Once again, I can go on about Eric, but I wanted to take a few moments to speak about Amy, who my family and I have had the great pleasure of getting to know over the years. First, I cannot say how excited I am to be able to call Amy part of our family. Her positive nature, energy, and enthusiasm for life is wonderful, and she truly brings out the best in Eric. I am fortunate enough to be able to discuss many personal stories that I've had with Amy, along with my family, but I'm going to quickly focus on 2. The first story is the first time we ever met Amy was in Boston at Jenny's birthday party. Now, this birthday party was hosted by Michelle, Eric's aunt, and Peter, and it was no ordinary birthday party. In fact, it was a toga party. Several people were very apprehensive about wearing a toga, but there Amy was in full regalia. Toga, toga! She was a great sport, and I can attest that we had a great time. It was also an opportunity for Amy to meet our granddad. At 97 years old, he has no greater wish than to be here with you, but I know that in his heart he's with us here. The second story of Amy is one with my daughter Addison. I have to say, Amy has been wonderful to both my children, Addison and Penn, and I apologize for any squealing that Penn has done. He sounds exactly like a pterodactyl, so don't look ahead. Above. For the last 2 months, Addison has been talking of nothing but this wedding. She's so excited to be here. During this last Easter, Eric and Amy were in Concord, Massachusetts with us, and she was a great help in letting Addison rehearse her lines for a school play, The Rainbow Fish. I don't know if you guys know about the rainbow fish. I just found out about it. Addison played the wise octopus, and Amy was wonderful in helping her rehearse her lines and to punctuate her delivery. Only later did I find out that the book, The Rainbow Fish, was a thinly veiled reference to communism. And that the wise octopus was actually Karl Marx. So Amy, comrade, thank you so much for helping my daughter learn her lines. I want to thank you both, Eric and Amy, for being such an important part of my life and my family's life and everyone here. Your wedding was just wonderful, and it really shows the community that you guys have and all the love that's in this room. And on behalf of my entire family, I cannot express how much we're looking forward for you to become part of the family. In closing, I want to share these wise words once passed on to me. Time is too slow for those who wait, too swift for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, too short for those who rejoice, but for those who love, time is eternal. Bring up my beer, excuse me 1 second. Yes, I'm drinking a beer opposed to champagne, but I apologize. Here's to Eric and Amy. We love you all. Take care. I love it. I love it. Such a great time.